Partners in Ministry, a presentation of Josiah White's Quakerdale Foundation, dedicated to growing ministry support networks, introducing people to a cause that connects with their heart, bringing hope and encouragement to our communities as we seek together to serve as Christ served.
Welcome. My name is Dan Smith, and today I'll be talking with Carla Tripp. Carla is the chapter director for Safe Families of Iowa. Safe Families for Children is a ministry partner of Josiah White's Quakerdale Foundation. Welcome, Carla, and thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me. Good to be here.
Before we get into some of the updates that have been happening with Safe Families since the last time we talked, let's just talk a little bit again about who you serve, where you serve, and how you serve. So let's start with that first one, the who. Who do Safe Families serve?
Yeah, so Safe Families can serve anyone, but our focus is typically helping out those moms, typically a single mom with more than one child, in crisis, and that crisis can be really anything. We don't have any defining measures that are a crisis because we're all different. And so what our goal is to circle that mom with support, finding support for her in the community. But we have some different roles that are volunteer roles within our organization that we can utilize to help lift her up and get her back on her feet.
Okay, so for the most part, if I was going to use a one sentence to summarize, Safe Family supports single moms in their desire to raise their kids and improve themselves. That'd be a good way to kind of summarize it.
Absolutely. Good. Great job.
Great. So then the next question would be, so where do you serve? How big is the area that you serve?
Yeah, that's a great question. Now, we are a national organization and we have chapters here in Iowa. So our chapters here in Iowa, we have a greater Des Moines area, which I call Central Iowa, right? So we're serving quite a range, if you visualize, about an hour either direction from the Des Moines area. We also have an Iowa City chapter. That chapter serves Iowa City, Cedar Rapids, and the surrounding area. And we're actually seeing some more activity up Cedar Falls, Waterloo area with a lot of interest in ask for help. So if you kind of visualize a little bit of a triangle in the state, we're kind of Des Moines over to Iowa City, up past Cedar Rapids, up to Cedar Falls and back down. So we do have quite a service area. Now, we don't say no. So if someone calls us just outside of that service area and they're in need of help, if we can find a way to make that work, we absolutely will. So don't think that we cannot help just because we're outside of what appears to be a service area. We do have connections, and like I said, we're always working in collaboration with other organizations. So even though we do have a listed service area, there's not a line in the sand that defines where we are.
Sure. So that sounds like a pretty big area to try to help.
It is, but we have amazing volunteers that step up and do a great job. So it takes a village.
So how do you do it? What are some of the services that you would provide for some of these single moms? What does that look like? What could they expect?
Yeah, so the biggest that we are offering is support and relationships. So we're bringing that mom into our world a little bit, modeling healthy relationships and parenting skills. But what we're doing when mom is in crisis, we have the ability to take the children into our homes and give her a break. So if she's homeless, needs to enter a shelter, but it doesn't allow children, or if she's needing to enter a domestic or a substance abuse program, something of that nature, we can take the children into our homes where we have fully vetted, approved families who have been through training and background clearances, and let them take care of the children while mom can still have visits regularly. She never loses the rights to her children. It's no different than a friend asking a friend to step in and help out. These are just moms that don't have someone else. They don't have extended family or trusted relationships that they can tap into. So that's where we become her support network.
Well, it really sounds to me, Carla, like as I understand some of the services that are out there in the state of Iowa, you're kind of that gap between when a mom is doing fairly good and all of a sudden things are just kind of going sour, and the next step of help would be maybe like foster care, or my family would be divided up, and you're kind of filling that little hole to say, whoop, wait a minute, let's get you some emotional and personal and support, so that we can keep that family together, so that that doesn't have to be the next option. Is that a good way to
That's
look at it?
Yes, that's exactly right. Our goal, we do think of ourselves as bridging a gap, and in that way, our goal is to prevent, prevent child abuse, but we're keeping the children out of the social service system when it's not needed, so that way we can fill that gap for the mom. And not only is it just a few days or a few weeks or a few months, the relationship that we're building and establishing with mom and children can last a lifetime. So it doesn't really end.
Sure.
It's awesome.
Well, it sounds like this is really a great fit for the local church, especially since there's a good variety of people. There's local churches just about in everybody's neighborhood. Could really be that support community for this mom. Do you work a lot with churches?
Yes. So the majority of our volunteers come from the faith community, and typically we have, they're associated with a church. So the ideal situation is that we have volunteers within a church, or several volunteers within a church, and they can also support one another during the hosting. That way we can circle the mom with support, not only with the host family that might be taking in her children, but providing her with family friendships, a family coach, and then we also, of course, we don't want to leave the host family out that's taking on this volunteer job. So we want to circle them with support. So it's great when we have extra people in our back pocket that can help out with, like a resource family might provide a meal or diapers to the family who's hosting. And also we have the family friends, as I mentioned, who can provide respite. So if the host family needs a break as well, or they're going out of town, we have other people that can step in and help support them as well.
It's great. So we've got 3 months of 2022 on its way, and from what I understand, there's some pretty cool new things that are happening with Safe Families. Why don't you get us updated on some of those changes, or some of those neat things that are happening?
Yeah, so up until recently, I've been the only staff here, and I explained our little service area is quite broad, and we are blessed with a part-time staff member starting in June. And he'll be covering a lot of the work in Cedar Rapids, Iowa City area. So we'll be building our team, not only of volunteers, but we have an extra staff person. So that's a really exciting step for us.
Sure. So I would imagine that going to your website would give a little bit more information in terms of who this person is and how to connect with them specifically in the Iowa City, Cedar Rapids area.
Yeah, that'll be posted up soon, I'm sure. He starts in June, so we'll be getting everything updated, and we are sending out information to our volunteers, of course, and letting everyone know and get it connected. So
Sure.
that'll all be out there.
That'd be great. One of the things we might want to do is just do a welcome to the team type of interview, and let kind of people
Yep.
see him. What's his name?
His name is Wayne Fritch.
Wayne. And welcome, Wayne. Glad to have you part of the team. Tell us a little bit about what's going on, and maybe we can put that together. So stay tuned. I'll work out details with Carla so that you can meet Wayne. So that would be a lot of fun. What are some of the ways that you talk about the support that you do for the people that have some needs, especially single moms? How can I, as an individual or an organization or a church, support your work? What can we do to help you be successful in what you're doing, Carla?
Yeah, so advocacy is huge for us. We want all the social service entities in their communities, in our local communities, to know about us, that we are here to help bridge that gap and support the moms in our community. So sharing all about Safe Families, what you've heard, connecting with me directly, checking our website to get information. We are a nonprofit organization, faith-based. Of course, we're always looking for donors. So if we have families that maybe aren't comfortable hosting with that role in their life, it may not be the right season for them to bring children into their home to host. Like I had mentioned, we have those other roles of family friending, resource friends, family coaches. But we also have individuals who are just donors, and they give to us on a regular basis, or an annual gift, financial gift, and that helps tremendously. That keeps us up and running. And of course, the more funding we have, the more support we can provide and branch out into further into the community.
Sure. So it sounds like internally, one of the ways that I could help support is become a volunteer. And so connect with you and say, I'd kind of like to learn a little bit more about what to be a volunteer. Externally, obviously donations, since you're funded, by donations, is to consider making a donation to your ministry, either one time or monthly, or, whatever the Lord lays on your heart. And then the third thing would be to get the word out about you. I'm assuming that we could probably you've got a Facebook page that we can kind of watch and like and share with what's going on. Is there also some, could I call you and say, hey, do you got some brochures or something that I could pass out to my community? So like go to my school, go to the city hall, go to the police department, go to some of the churches. Do you have something like that also that I could help let the world know, my world know about you?
Absolutely. We have brochures I can send electronically, or I can mail them directly to anyone interested. Our Facebook page, we do have a national Facebook page, but we also do have a couple set up separately for the Des Moines area or central Iowa. And then we also have the Eastern Iowa Facebook page. So if you can find us there, we do post some updates regularly. And also we post occasionally the needs that are out there and the opportunities for hosting and what those items are. And it helps give you a good idea of what we're looking for in our volunteers.
Sure. Because Safe Families is one of our ministry partners, the three things that people can look forward to when it comes to what we're putting out is obviously these partners in ministry interview videos we try to do once a quarter with Carla and Safe Families to let everybody know what's going on. We do watch and monitor their Facebook page. So if you are following our Facebook page at Quakerdale, we will like and follow and share what's going on with them. But also we share this video in our newsletter called the Video News and Views. So you can check our website out and get connected to that. As soon as we know anything about Carla, what's going on with Safe Families, we're going to put that out so that you can stay informed too. So, and then just get a hold of her and get some brochures, and let's let our world know about what's going on there. So that'd be awesome. The foundation is very passionate, as you are, about working collaboratively with other ministries. If I was interested in either as a church or another organization in the area wanting to collaborate with you, what would that look like? How would I get that started?
Yeah, so really just a phone call. We're pretty casual, and I would love to have phone call introduction. We can meet up and talk about what that looks like. That's our focus. We collaborate with other organizations, whether that's a ministry, social services, social workers, the church, the schools, you name it, hospitals, clinics. So we're just really trying to make sure that we're providing that wraparound service to moms. We're not just giving them enough to squeak by. We want to make them successful. And so by working with other organizations, typically those organizations provide a certain skill set, and we have our own unique roles that we can provide. And so by working together, we're really able to circle that mom with the support and provide that wraparound service that she needs to be successful and be, a good parent for her children, and build relationship with community.
Oh, that is awesome. That's awesome. Well, Carla, it's a very important work that you're doing. My wife is a third grade classroom teacher, and I can stand up and testify that there are many single moms that could just really use somebody to put an arm around and saying, hey, you don't have to walk this thing alone. Let's walk this together. May not have an answer for you, but you're not going to go through this by yourself. And you would be the organization that would support me or that person in that effort to make sure that we are indeed giving good support to that person.
Absolutely.
Well, Carl, I just want to thank you for joining me again today. Appreciate you being here. If you've got any questions, or if you'd like to learn more about Safe Families for Children of Iowa, their contact information is right here on the screen, or you can find it in the show notes of this episode on our website, or you can find it in the description of this YouTube video. So on behalf of Carla, Safe Families for Children, and Josiah White's Quakerdale Foundation, thank you for joining me today. Let's get out there and serve as Christ serves.
This has been a presentation of Partners in Ministry, a podcast of Josiah White's Quakerdale Foundation. To learn more and see the show notes for this and other episodes, visit our website. To stay informed of up and coming broadcasts, subscribe to our e-newsletter. To invest in our mission, donate today.